Gemini. Gemini why? Gemini how? Gemini who? Gemini hi. And Gemini, how do you do? Gemini, I got a story or two, or 7,861, because it's a out of bounds Gemini full moon, y'all. And I'm never gonna stop talking. Actually, I hope that's not true. Happy to say I'm heading over to see a friend who is staying in Sausalito for a bit, and I don't know exactly where, but I'm hoping it's in a place where we get to see moonrise. Such a wonderful thing with the full moon, that the moon rises at sunset, right? Yes, and also not exactly. First of all, it's full moon when it's not exactly full moon. So the moon will rise when she's still in the very last degrees of Taurus, and then soon after jump into Gemini, and it won't be till about 1:30 a.m. local time, that's Pacific time for me, when the moon opposes the sun for this Gemini full moon. So one thing is, the full moon doesn't rise right at sunset because you're not necessarily right on Earth where the moon exactly opposes the sun right at sunset. But even if it did, or even if you're at that place where it does, unless it's a lunar eclipse, full moon does not rise at sunset. It rises sometime around sunset. Whoa. But when the moon has northern latitude, which means she's north of the sun's path, the ecliptic, as moon does now, in fact, does extremely so now, then in the northern hemisphere skies, the moon will rise before the degree of the sun's path that the moon projects to. Now, I know that's a lot of like astrogeometry nerd speak, but it's an important truth that helps us understand that the moon is the moon and the sun is the sun. And actually might set it up in such a way that where I'm heading, we will get to experience the Taurus moon in the last degree rising at the exact same time as the Sagittarius sunset. Because not only is the moon northern latitude, which happened, by the way, as soon as the moon passed her north node. For the moon's north node is where the moon's path crosses the sun's path going north. And in northern hemisphere experience, that means literally coming closer to us. And because the Earth travels north through space, and we do, that means the moon is heading towards the future. So anyway, the north lunar node is currently in Aries, right? Taurus, therefore, is even more north. Gemini, even more north. And the moon will reach her northern bending in Cancer. Well, Cancer is, along with Gemini, the most northern sign. So when the moon has north celestial latitude, meaning she's north of the sun's path, in extremely north signs, and Gemini and Cancer are the most north signs. They are the signs that are most north of Earth's equator, the Tropic of Cancer, 0 Cancer being the north point. Then the moon is going to be out of bounds north. So out of bounds has a very astronomical, technical expression, which is a lot easier to show than to speak. But hopefully you're hearing what I'm trying to put down. Speaking about the correspondences of moon when out of bounds is a lot easier to express than to try to show. Basically, it means freak out. I just looked down at my speed because I was like, maybe I'm going a little fast. I'm on the Richmond Bridge right now, and everyone's going fast. By the way, internet often drops out here, so I wonder if that's happening. But I'm actually right in the speed limit. But when I looked down, it wasn't my speedometer. I saw the cruising range, like how many miles left till an empty tank, and it said 108, and I was like, oh damn, better slow down. Sometimes it's like that with a Gemini moon, probably especially when moon is out of bounds. Out of bounds means it's kind of like breaking the rules a little bit. And so, in a sense, I guess you could say breaking Gemini rules would be staying mum. I don't think it works that way. I don't think it means like an out-of-bounds moon is going to be contrary to the nature of its expression in this sign or that. I would say it's probably extreme. Well, like, you know what? I don't know. I contradict myself. Because here's the thing. When you look at the path of the sun, and you can learn so much astronomy that way. And when you do, by the way, you'll be learning tropical astronomy. The sun crosses the equator twice a year, right? That's equinox time. And so we've had our recent crossing with the sun's Libra ingress. That's moving south. Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius take us to the southern extreme, which is the Tropic of Capricorn. And then the sun stops. This is called solstice. Turns around. Greek for turnaround is tropikos at the Tropic of Capricorn and starts coming north. So Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, they're also southern signs, but they're coming back from the southern extreme, right? Then sun will cross the equator at Aries equinox and move into northern signs. Aries, Taurus, Gemini brings sun to its northern extreme, which is the Tropic of Cancer. Tropikos, turnaround, solstice. The sun stops going north and then heads south for 6 months. So Cancer, Leo, and Virgo are also northern signs. But while Aries, Taurus, and Gemini take us north from the equator to the northern extreme, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo take us back from that northern extreme, the Tropic of Cancer, to the equator, right? So Gemini is the most northern sign along with Cancer. But the difference between the two is that Gemini is taking us to the northern extreme. Cancer brings us back from it. Sagittarius takes us to the southern extreme. Capricorn brings us back from it, right? So there's the sun right now, right? If you're in the northern hemisphere like I am, because the sun's in Sagittarius on his way to the southern extreme, the Tropic of Capricorn. The sun's super far from me, and therefore day by day the midday sun is falling in the sky, right? Fortunately, that can't happen forever, right? Because Capricorn comes in, it's like, stop that, go back, right? Sagittarius is on the great journey to the unknown. What's this? And Capricorn's like, no, back to the tribe. You have responsibilities. On the other side, Gemini takes us to the northern extreme, right? And so why am I talking about Gemini right now? The sun's inside because of the moon. What the sun does in a year, from the southern extreme, the Tropic of Capricorn, to the northern extreme, the Tropic of Cancer, and back again, the moon does every month, right? The moon gets around Earth's zodiac in 27 1/3 days. So the moon is going crazy high every month. Cancer, Gemini, so northern hemisphere high. Crazy low every month, Sagittarius, Capricorn, right? There are times in the moon's journey, like this monthly journey, where she goes much further north and much further south. Those are called the lunar standstills, and we are getting close to that time. We are very close. The extreme lunar maximums, as they're known to astronomy, happen when the north lunar node reaches 0 tropical Aries. By the way, not sidereal Aries, not constellational Aries, but astronomical zodiac, 0 tropical Aries. You want to figure that out in a sidereal zodiac, you better convert first to tropical. Oh wait, but the tropical zodiacs, it's not astronomical, right? All right, anyway. So Gemini's like, let's get out of here. Like, let's break the rules. Let's go ask the questions that we're not allowed to ask and allow ourselves to think in possible thinks and, you know, whatever. And Cancer's like, all right, bring it back home, kid. Right? Like, you know, if you just let the kid climb the tree as high as he wants to climb it, sometimes, you know, that could lead to danger. Typically what happens is fear creeps in and I got to go back to the ground. Sometimes I need to even call the family for help to get me out of the tree. Maybe witnessed one of those recently. But you see, it's the Gemini or the Sag that's out to climb the tree. Do you feel me? And it's the Cancer or the Capricorn that's going to bring you back to Earth. And sometimes, by the way, that comes through fear. Anyway, the reason why I'm on this whole trip is this. I feel like Cancer out of bounds moon. So when the moon is out of bounds north, she literally goes further north than the Tropic of Cancer. That will happen tonight. And I mean, like up towards like Orlando, Florida, and other places that are north of the Tropic of Cancer. You'll never see the sun directly overhead in those places, but the moon can be there depending on where we are in the great 18.5-year nodal cycle. All right, 18.618 years, but who's counting? We are, right? So the moon can get beyond the bounds of the sun, being the tropics, the tropicos, right? And I think Gemini loves that. So my general feeling would be an out-of-bounds Gemini moon will exaggerate Gemini, where an out-of-bounds Cancer moon would probably go the opposite way. When I was saying that earlier, I just caught myself because I was like, I very often in readings, like if I see an out-of-bounds Capricorn moon, I'll often say something like, oh, this ain't your granddaddy's Capricorn, right? Like, this is a different kind of Capricorn. This is like a far out Capricorn. It's breaking the rules, Capricorn. Capricorn made the fucking rules. So a Capricorn that's breaking the rules is a whole other thing. You see what I'm saying? Where Sagittarius is kind of born to break the rules. Born to be wild. And Gemini certainly so. Very much in different ways. We might look to their elements to describe why. Anyway, there's some thoughts. As I warned you, is this thing on? You know what, I better end it before I can't. So there's some thoughts for you, or 1,000 as I warned you might be true. I guess maybe we're alive again. Look, the moon, when she first comes into Gemini, what happens when she squares Pisces Saturn? Then she conjoins Sagittarius Mars. In between that time, she's besieged by the malefics, to use the ancient term. And then she gets to oppose the moon. And then she's kind of free for a bit. She's going way out of bounds. Sorry, the moon does not oppose the moon. The moon will oppose sun, full moon, right? After full moon time, the next aspect moon makes, at least to a visible planet, won't be until she trines Libra Venus. And then she'll finally, before jumping the wall into Cancer, way out of bounds, she'll oppose an out of bounds Sagittarius Mercury. And they're going to have quite a conversation, I bet. So on some levels, like the moon first coming into Gemini, given the square with Saturn, getting into this Mars-Saturn square territory, like, there might be a little bit of reservation. But I have a feeling there's going to be some fucking weird dreams tonight, people. And for some of us, we probably just won't sleep up with our ideas and creating things. We will see. Anyway, I'm just going to say this mantra out loud right now and probably say it silent to myself a few times throughout the night. But to go hang out with somebody I very much respect, and I look forward to hearing what he has to say. And that's not going to happen if I'm talking the whole time. So a good Gemini mantra is, remember I have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Also, my friend's partner, I don't believe, is an astrologer. So there's other shit we could talk about. And that's like a good thing for astrologers to remember when they get together. If they're not alone. Like maybe speak English instead of astrology. Right? Maybe speak like life instead of depth all the time. I don't know. We'll see. So fortunately, we'll watch a Taurus moonrise. But then it's probably going to get a little weird. I did see, thanks to a little software I'm testing right now, that as soon as I left my house, Uranus was pointing right where I'm going. So something's going to happen. If you don't hear from me again, it was that. Thanks for spending some time on this drive. I hope you have a wonderful, out of bounds Gemini full moon.